Hello, welcome back to our weekly minimalist power yoga session, with today's focus being on our hips as well as our complete posterior chain flexibility and mobility. And if you're ready, let's get right into it. And as usual, we're gonna get started in a seated position. Bring both hands right on the ground in front of our knees, and we're gonna walk them forward step by step, starting by lengthening our glutes and our back all the way up to our shoulders and arms, bringing our head down, and we're just gonna sway a little bit with our hips to the left side and slowly to the right side, just for a handful of seconds, loosening up our hip joints before we really get into working on their mobility. So just a handful of times for another 3, 2, 1, back to the middle, and we're gonna move forward with a rounded back, pushing our hips down towards the ground, lengthening our quads and hip flexors, raising our knees from the ground and pushing our hips even lower. We're gonna hold for another 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in. And when breathing out, we're gonna roll backwards over our toes into a downward dog position, pushing our chest towards our legs, keeping our arms extended. Now we're gonna start switching between bending the left leg, extending it, and bending the right leg, loosening up our posterior chain in our legs just a little bit, especially our Achilles tendon, calves, and hamstrings, all the way up to our glutes. The harder you push your chest down, the more stretch you're gonna feel in the extended leg. For another 3, 2, 1, and extend both legs again. Bring your knees to the ground, roll over your toes, push your hip down into an upward dog with your knees raised for another 3, 2, 1, and start with a rounded back, pushing your hips backwards into our starting position, arms lengthened, taking another deep breath in. Now when breathing out, we're gonna step forward with our right foot to the right hand and start pushing our hips towards the ground while lengthening our upper bodies and pushing our back into some spinal extension, or at the very least a neutral spinal position, opening up our hips and glutes, taking a deep breath in. And when breathing out, we're gonna move down onto our elbows, getting even more of a stretch in our glutes, opening our hips even more, and we wanna keep that foot completely flat on the ground. For another 3, 2, 1, both hands flat on the ground, extend your arm and start pushing your hips backwards just as far as you can without your foot raising, meaning if you extend fully and you see your toes raising from the ground or too far back, you can start bending your knee the tiniest bit. Hold for another 3, 2, 1, push your hips forward and downwards, upper body fully extended, deep breath in. And now when breathing out, we're gonna release, pushing our right leg back, our hips as well, all the way, lengthening our glutes, back, arms, and shoulders. And once again, we're gonna sway a little bit to the left side, a little bit to the right side, at your own pace, for another handful of seconds, breathing deeply. And that goes for our general breath work, always in through the nose, expanding our stomach, out through the mouth, pulling our stomach in, always using our diaphragm with every single deep breath we take. Back to the middle, moving our upper body forward with a rounded back and stepping forward with our left foot to our left hand, pushing our hips down, upper body extended, pushing our lower back into spinal extension, taking another deep breath in. And when breathing down, we're gonna move down onto our elbows. Once more, rounded back, neck fully relaxed, head hanging loose. And another deep breath in. And when breathing out, we're going to bring our hands flat on the ground, extending our arms, and once again pushing our hips back, lengthening our left leg, but keeping our foot flat on the ground. Going into this complete extension in our ankle. And moving forward once again into the tiniest bit of ankle flexion while pushing our hips down once more and extending our upper body for another 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in. And when breathing out once more, bringing our left leg back, pushing our hips back, lengthening our shoulders, arms back, and glutes once more. And we're gonna sway a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right for another 3, 2, 1, back to the middle, get into a quadrupedal position. And now we're going to step forward with our left foot right between our hands, getting on our toes in the back foot, extending both legs into a classic pyramid pose, leaving our left hand on the ground and opening our right arm towards the ceiling into a classic triangle pose. So now we're lengthening our hamstrings, especially our biceps in the front leg, while lengthening more of our calf focus in the back leg. We also have ankle extension in the front with ankle flexion in the back. So we're working a little bit on our ankle joints and mobility as well. Take a deep breath in. And when breathing out, right hand down to the ground and reversing the triangle pose by raising our left arm towards the ground, adding this lumbar and thoracic rotation as well. 3, 2, 1. Left hand down, taking a deep breath in. And when breathing out, we're going to turn to the right side. We want to keep both feet parallel, so we have a little bit more pull on our adductors. We're going to place either our hands or our lower arms on the ground, depending on your flexibility or mobility. Taking a deep breath in, moving into spinal extension. And when breathing out, rounding our back and shoulders, hanging our head, pushing our pelvis forward into spinal flexion or a completely rounded back. And we're going to repeat, breathing into extension, lengthening our posterior chain in our legs, and breathing out into flexion, lengthening our posterior chain in our upper body. One more time, breathing into extension, breathing out into flexion, into extension, out into flexion. One more time, breathing in, holding for 3, 2, 1. And this time, when breathing out, we're going to bring our arms backwards with our hands down towards the floor, and we're going to pull our upper body down to the ground. If you can, place your head on the floor. Go ahead and do that. If you can't, absolutely no worries, as long as your legs are completely extended and your feet are parallel. You're doing everything perfectly. Hold for another 3, 2, 1, and forward with our upper body. Take another deep breath in. And when breathing out, we're once again gonna turn forward. We're gonna place our left foot back, our right foot forward, and extending both legs into a pyramid pose once more, leaving our right hand on the ground and opening into a classic triangle pose with our left arm for 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. And breathing out, reversing the triangle, left hand down, right arm up. If possible, extending all 4 limbs for another 3, 2, 1. Hand down, left knee down, and bring your right leg back. Push your hips back. One final time. Breathing deeply into our stomach, lengthening our glutes, back, shoulders, and arms. And we're gonna sway to the side. Final time. To the left and to the right for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to the middle and sitting up all the way. Now that's basically it for me for today. If you want to continue this with breathing meditation, for instance, doing some pranayama or some breath work, absolutely amazing. But with that said, sadly, once again, that's all the time I've left for you today. However, if you like the video and subscribe, and please check out other videos on this channel because we literally have new ones every single day. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Captain Cairo. Peace out.